Hello everybody, welcome to FreePCGamers. I am FedoraG4mer and we have another episode of Top 3 for Free. In today's episode, all three games are from the recent Ludum Dare 27, which had the theme of 10 seconds. If you do not know what Ludum Dare is, it is a game jam or competition where developers make a game in 48 hours, pretty much over a weekend. I would like to note that I am not saying these are the three best games from Ludum Dare 27. There is a lot of games submitted to that competition, and I have not gone through nearly all of them. These are just the three most standout ones I have seen so far. Well, let's go ahead and get right into it.
Number 3.
Number 3 is CubePocalypse by the Foreman. I would describe this game as an arcade survival score attack game. In CubePocalypse, you are tasked with running around as a world is coming to an end by angered gods throwing meteors down to try to pray at shrines to delay the CubePocalypse. Where the 10-second theme comes into play is each of the shrines will only be available for 10 seconds, then it will reappear somewhere else for you to try to get to it again. Praying at the shrines will increase your score, as well as continuing to live will increase your score. Now really there isn't a whole lot to this game, which is the fact with most Ludum Dare games, as they are made in 2 days only. It does have a voxel based graphics, kind of Minecraft-y. What is really interesting about this game though is the environmental destruction going on all around you, and it's actually a lot of fun just to watch, as long as you try to avoid the meteors as well. And the world gets pretty tore up in a short amount of time. The objective of the game is simply to live as long as possible and pray as many shrines as you can to get the highest score you possibly can, while the voxel-based world crumbles around you. It is a good bit of fun, definitely not a whole lot of replay value here, but it is impressive graphically for a game that was made in 2 days. As with all these games, the link will be in the description.
Number 2.
My number 2 pick is Proletarian Ninja X by Sebastian Bernard. In this game you play a ninja tasked with assassinating rooms full of capitalists. Sticking with the 10-second theme of Ludum Dare 27, you only have 10 seconds to clear each room, done so by stabbing your victims or throwing one of your 3 shurikens to kill them from afar. So you must quickly dispatch your targets, since you only have 10 seconds per room, all while avoiding their line of sight, and you also cannot let their line of sight find a corpse of one of your previous victims, which really ramps up the difficulty in the later levels. At first, Proletarian Ninja X seems a lot like an action game, but as you progress through the levels, it starts becoming apparent that it is more of a puzzle game that's all about timing and learning the patterns of your enemies and their sight cones. I do really enjoy this game, and I really like the pixel art graphics, but there is a little bit of issues with it. The difficulty curve has some major spikes where one level is really hard and take you quite a bit of time to figure it out, and the next one being quite simple. Even so, if you enjoy challenging games and ninjas, you should really check this game out. The link will be in the description.
And number 1.
And number 1 is Steven Seagal is Hard to Swat. This game is created by Paul Greasley, aka FarmerNo, which happens to be one of my personal favorite indie developers. You might remember a few of his games in previous episodes of this series, such as Fistful of Gun and Undercover Agents. In Hard to Swat, you take control of 2 SWAT teams led by Steven Seagal into a building to rescue hostages. I would loosely term this game as a turn-based combat strategy game. This game uses the 10-second theme, as your turns are 10 seconds long, but the timer only counts down when you are moving or aiming. You can split up these 10 seconds how you want between all of the different team members by pressing tab to cycle through them, though I generally use Steven Seagal for the most part, mostly to my own detriment, and leaving my other teammates just to be bullet fodder on the next enemy turn. The enemies as well as yourself always die in one shot, so it is a very good idea on your first turn to clear out the area around your entry points. Otherwise this will happen and all of your units will be destroyed in one enemy turn. The point is to clear out the enemies to get the hostages out safely. You have to go pick up a hostage, which makes you move considerably slower, and move them to one of the entrance points where you broke the walls to get in. That is one of the more interesting parts of this game, is how every level starts. You can choose where to aim your SWAT trucks and then plow right into the building in awesome, cheesy action movie wonderfulness. You can also choose to have your teams drop in through a skylight. I generally prefer the driving the truck into the building method. I will note what I'm showing you here is the post-competition build of the game, with some bug fixes and a little bit more added to it, including a rather well done impersonation voice acting of Steven Seagal that spews really cheesy action movie lines periodically, which just adds a whole level of awesome to this game. As you progress through the levels, the number of hostages you will need to save will increase, as well as the number of enemies. You can also pick up flashing W's that some of the enemies drop when they are killed to unlock more weapons on this squad creation screen. This game is just generally a lot of fun. Farmer Gnome has hit it out of the park once again, and so far this is by far my favorite game from Ludum Dare 27. I highly suggest checking this one out, especially the post-competition build, which will be linked in the description.
Play rough? Okay.
That's it for this episode, so go play some free games. I'm FedoraG4mer, this is FreePCGamers. If you liked this video, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.